Dear traveller, and welcome. This week, guys, we're going to embark on a journey of discovery and truth. We are trying to answer one of the film photography's holy grail questions. What camera should I buy? This is a common theme that you do see a lot, but I feel there's some realizations that I've come to that would have really helped me while I was camera shopping. Have you ever noticed that when someone asks, what camera should I get? They generally don't get the answer they wanted to hear. They mostly get this kind of generalized response of, well, that's really up to you. Here's my take. I subscribe to that idea, better questions get better answers. The question, what camera should I get, is an open-ended question with no real answer. But I prefer to ask the question, what style of photos do you want to take? This is the topic of today's video, and this is part of an ongoing series that will help to answer the question, what camera should I buy? It's no surprise that there is many different styles of film camera designs. You have SLRs, rangefinders, twin lens reflex, point and shoot, zone focus rangefinders, Polaroids, and many more. So why is there so many different types of camera designs? No doubt it has been a constant evolution of the design and application that has got us to where we are now. But each classification of camera comes with its own inherent strengths and weaknesses. So let's break them down and help to answer the question of what styles of photos do you want to make? A good way of seeing this idea is with cars. Let's say you had 3 different cars. First was a vintage 1955 Mercedes 190 SL, an old classic, a beauty Sunday driver, mostly handmade and perfectly crafted. Then say you have a modern Japanese sports car, like a Nissan GTR, a straight out high performance beast designed for the track. And lastly, you have a Dodge Grand Caravan, the big party bus with room for the whole family and their pets. Now each one of these cars has a very different purpose. Even the way you would dress when you drive each car would be very different. However, essentially, each of those cars would perform the same task of getting you from A to B. So how does this apply to cameras? Well, the design and function of cameras varies, and so does its application. So what type of shots do you want to make? I found Instagram very helpful with this. Search point and shoot or rangefinder, etc., and you'll get a taste for the style of shots you can make with that genre of camera. For instance, if you want to use a camera that won't get in the way of your lifestyle and will work in just about any lighting situation, then take a look into a point and shoot camera with a built-in flash. These cameras can be crazy sharp and surprisingly capable. I find that point and shoot cameras have this real organic, real life feel to it. This can be great to capture parties, concerts, or spontaneous shots with very little thought involved. For me, this creates a very exciting and nostalgic image. Before we go any further, please remember that this is purely subjective and there will always be an exception to the rule. And there will be some famous photographer that uses a point and shoot to do paid portraits or something completely out of characteristic of this camera. But I'm focusing on the conventional user and results. Moving on, let's look at the SLR style camera. These have the advantage of getting the most accurate view of how the image is going to look. You're physically looking down the lens at your subject. This gives you greater accuracy and control over your composition and stylistic choices. Also, if you're using a long focal length, you'll be able to see subjects from a greater distance that wouldn't be possible with other designs of cameras. Something to also consider is that with an SLR is that you're more likely to be bringing extra lenses, filters, batteries, tripods, etc. So it's a bigger rig that requires a camera bag or some kind of camera strap setup. I believe this also changes the style of photography you create with this camera design. The shots are more thought out and planned or staged. And yes, I know, there's people thinking, but I can just grab my SLR, put a 50mm lens on it and head out the door. I don't need a bag and everything. And yeah, you're not wrong, but I still feel that the ergonomics and functionality of an SLR lends itself more to a deliberate and thought out shot. Also, if you're doing candid street photography, I've noticed that people get a lot more self-conscious when you put an SLR in their face. Now we come to the rangefinders. I started off not enjoying rangefinders. I thought it just makes sense to be able to look down the lens to compose your shots. But the more I used them, the more the charm took over. When I shot with a point and shoot, it felt like I was in the moment documenting an experience. When I shoot with an SLR, it feels like I was working. And that's not to say that there's any difficulty in using them. They just feel more purpose-built and professional. And Rangefinder? Well, it's an indulgence to use, as if it was purpose-built with the user's experience in mind. There's something about looking through the finder, knowing that it's not the lens, it's just you in this glass box. It's very satisfying. But that being said, it's not built for speed. No, it's more of a slower, enjoyable experience. It would not be my choice for fast-moving subjects or big landscape shots. Well, I hope this helps, guys. I purchased one of each of these cameras and was surprised at how unique these designs are. This is just the start of this conversation. I look forward to the next installment of this subject. Also guys, I wanted to give a big shout out to those that have subscribed and are commenting. I really feel so honoured to have you join me on this journey and look forward to the future of this channel. Please let me know if there's anything you would like me to cover or talk about. And like always, please leave a comment and like. And if you're new here, click on the subscribe button and join the team. Until next time, keep making photos.